Shalom. First, want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakadash. And hey, man, prophecy is still going out forth throughout the earth, man. So you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, you need to wake up. It's high time you wake out of sleep, man. Because times are getting very, very detrimental for you. And as you can see, if you've been following in the news, it's getting very, very detrimental for the so-called Venezuelans, man. Trump has closed the airspace around Venezuela. Letting you know that some bombing and some military action is about to take place. And that's what happens when you don't follow the law, statute, and commandments of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. He gives you over to Esau, Edom, to your enemies out here. And they're going to find out the hard way. What's his face? The president, Nicolas Maduro. Pretty much Esau, Edom wants him dead. Because they want the resources out of that country. And they've been trying, and they getting ready to make their move. So let's read some of this article. It says, Trump declares Venezuelan airspace closed. The U.S. president has said his country will take action on land against alleged drug trafficking, which is a lie, networks in Venezuela very soon. Airspace above and surrounding Venezuela is now closed, U.S. President Donald Trump announced on Saturday. Trump has repeatedly threatened military action against the country, citing its alleged involvement in the illicit drug trade, a charge Venezuela leadership has consistently denied. Trump made the announcement in a caps-heavy post on Truth Social without elaborating how far the surrounding airspace spans beyond the South American country borders. To all airlines, pilots, drug dealers, and human traffickers, please consider the airspace above and surrounding Venezuela to be closed in its entirety, the U.S. president wrote. Since early September, the U.S. military has carried out 20 airstrikes on small boats in international waters in the Caribbean and beyond, claiming the vessels are being used by drug smugglers. More than 80 people are believed to have been killed in the attacks, according to media reports. In mid-November, U.S. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth announced the launch of Operation Southern Spear against narco-terrorists in the region. The U.S. military brought over a dozen warships and some 15,000 personnel into the region as part of the operation. Trump has repeatedly accused Caracas of aiding narco-terrorists, alleging that Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro is personally leading a major drug trafficking organization. Recently, Washington also increased its bounty on Maduro to a massive $50 million. Maduro has repeatedly denied allegations on being somehow involved in illicit narcotics trafficking, insisting the claims were merely part of Washington's efforts to topple him. The Venezuelan president has warned Washington against launching a crazy war, placing the country's military on high alert and staging a series of exercises in response to the U.S. military buildup in the region. So war has come to the shores of Venezuela, all by the hand of Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Why? Because he wants your resources. And we're going to get some precepts. This Matthew 24:6. It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So yeah, we're hearing wars and rumors of wars. Trump is saying that a land assault is going to take place on the country of Venezuela. Now that's where the Asherites live, and we're about to see whether or not these Russians been training up the Asherites, good enough in order to go against the United States military, which I seriously doubt, because the sword is Esau's blessing, man, and he's very deadly with it and reckless. He may not get the objective across, but yes, he can pummel and turn your land into a desolate wilderness, man. So the war is in the air and all throughout the media. He's letting you know that he's getting ready to invade and getting ready to pay you a visit militarily, man. And there's nothing that can be done to stop it. This man's a bloodthirsty demon. Micah 2:1. It says, "Woe to them that devise iniquity and evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand." So yeah, Esau Edom, he devises iniquity on his beds, and when the morning comes, when there's light, they put it into play, because Yahweh Hashem Yahushua has given Esau Edom the power to carry out these things, man, because the earth is under the rule of Esau Edom right now. The scripture, Job 9:24, says the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Esau Edom is still, in charge of ruling right now. So he can go around raping and pillaging and destroying countries, and it's all sanctioned by the Most High. It's sanctioned by the Most High right now. Verse 2, "And they covet fields and take them by violence." And take them, and they covet fields, they covet the country, the field, the land of Venezuela for its oil, for its natural resources, and take them by violence. Yeah, they coming in with the military, with the sword, missiles, fighter jets, whatever the case may be. They're coming in and taking it by violence. They're not coming in making a peace treaty, making some kind of, treaty or something with Maduro saying, why don't you just leave? Saying, why don't you just leave? No, they won't do that. They're going to take it. It says, "And take them away." So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. So yeah, they'll come in, take your land over by violence, and oppress you, man. They'll take your heritage from you. They'll take and say they're the people. They'll take over Venezuela in 50 to 100 years. If we still was gonna be here, they'll say that they're, the Venezuelans, man. These damn demons. Every time I get started with a video, man, they'll say they're the ones. I'm gonna go ahead and end this video, man, because these damn demons. Yeah, every time I want to do a video, I ain't heard from this fucking fool for the longest. But let me. I'm gonna go ahead and end the video off on this, man. Before I get out of here, man, I'm gonna give all praise and glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Shalom, man.